Hello, good morning everybody. Today's practical is connective tissue. So connective tissue component, there is a fiber, cells and ground substance. So here there is a different type of this connective tissue. So areolar pocket are seen due to this loose arrangement of this component. So it contains the collagen fibers, elastic fibers, fibrocyte cells and adipocyte cells seen in the group. So the term connective tissue is applied to the tissue that fill the intrinsic between these more specialized elements. They are predominantly composed of intercellular substance, matrix secreted by its cells. So present in almost every part of this body. It is conspicuous in some region and scanty in other. This kind of this connective tissue is referred to as the general connective tissue. So here you see the practical slide of this connective tissue. It classified into the different connective tissue. So first classification of this connective tissue divide into this connective tissue proper, including loose connective tissue, dense connective tissue. There is two type of this dense connective tissue, regular and irregular connective tissue, and embryonic connective tissue, mucoid connective tissue, and mesenchyma. The specialized connective tissue may cartilage, bone, adipose tissue, blood, and hemolymphatic tissue. So these one are the classification of this connective tissue. The cells and this loose connective tissue. First, you see this slide of this loose connective tissue. In this slide, loose connective tissue. These are the slide of this esophagus. This epithelium is stratified squamous epithelium. This one are the lamina propria. It is the loose connective tissue. This one are the esophageal gland or the mucosal gland. So loose connective tissue, mostly widespread connective tissue. It is loosely woven network of the fibers, collagen fibers, elastic fibers and reticular fibers. This arrow is indicated the loose connective tissue. So connective tissue cell, fibroblast, macrophage, plasma cells, fat cells, white blood cells and the most cells are present, which along with the fibers are embedded in this ground substance. Ground substance consists of this hyaluronic acid and chondroitin sulfate. So it contains this ground substance and the cells. So present in the superficial fascia along with this adipose tissue around the blood vessels and viscera, nerves and the muscles. Also found in beneath the epithelium as a lamina propria. So these are the example of this loose connective tissue. It is widely distributed. It is loosely arrangement of these collagen fibers and cells. This epithelium is stratified squamous, non-keratinized epithelium. Within the epithelium, there is a lamina propria. So beneath this epithelium is lamina propria. Example, GAT tracts. There is contained the loose connective tissue. Support serous membrane, mesothelium of the pleura, peritoneum and pericardium. So these provide elasticity and support to various structures. So these one are the loose connective tissue. Now second classification, it including this dense connective tissue. So dense connective tissue are two types. There is a dense regular connective tissue and dense irregular connective tissue. This slide is indicate the dense regular connective tissue. So it consists predominantly of this collagen fibers type 1. Tightly packed into the parallel bundles between which are few attenuated spindle shaped fibroblast. So you see this dense regular connective tissue. There is a regularly arrangement of these collagen fibers and there is a nucleus. The collagen fibers are so closely packed that very little space is left for the ground substance and loose connective tissue. Present in tendon, aponeurosis of the muscles and in ligament, periosteum and the perichondrium and the deep fascia. So these are the example of this loose connective tissue. Collagen fibers, you can see this collagen fibers, it is facing in bundles and there is a regularly arrangement of this connective tissue. So tendon, here there is a two type of this slide, TS and LS. When transverse section there is, you can see it, you can differentiate between the skeletal muscles and tendon, and in case longitudinal section this type of this appearance seen. You see this slide, these are the longitudinal section of this tendon. So these are the nucleus of this fibrocyte and collagen fibers. So regularly arrangement of this nucleus, it indicate the dense regular connective tissue. कहाँ पे होती है dense regular connective tissue? Example है tendon है, aponeurosis है, then there is a some fibers, collagen fibers are closely packed, there are very little space and present in tendon and aponeurosis of the muscles, and some ligament, periosteum, perichondrium, and the deep fascia. This one are the example of dense regular connective tissue. Now third slide, it indicates the dense irregular connective tissue. So dense irregular connective tissue, here there is a collagen fibers. Type 1 predominantly bundles irregularly arranged. You see this slide is indicate the thick skin. So this one are the epidermis, part of this epidermis, and keratinized part. So here there is absent the hair follicle and sebaceous gland. This portion are the dermis part of this thick skin. So at the dermis, this arrows indicate the dense irregular connective tissue. So bundle of these fibers are coarse and they form a compact network with little space. The space are occupied by the few cells and the little ground substance. So this slide is indicate dense irregular connective tissue. कहाँ पे होती है? Dermis of the skin. Or sometimes there is a dura mater, epimysium, epineurium, pericardium, periosteum, tunica, albuginea of the testis and sclera, capsule of the various organ, and the submucosa of the interstitial tract. Cover fragile tissue and the organ and protect them from the multi-directional mechanical force. So these are example of this dense irregular connective tissue. Now this slide is indicate the elastic tissue. So you see this slide of this large artery or the aorta. This one are the tunica intima. This arrow is indicate tunica media, and this one are the tunica adventitia. So tunica intima, here there is epithelium is simple squamous epithelium. Name is given the endothelium. This arrow is indicate the endothelium, and this yellow arrow is indicate the elastic tissue. So this tunica media, it contains this more amount of these elastic fibers predominantly and are present in thick wavy parallel bundle. Thick wavy, you see this wavy structures and thickest part of this tunica media. So these are elastic tissue. Bundle are separated by the loose collagen tissue and fibroblast with attenuated cytoplasm and condensed oblong nuclei. So ground substance is paired and like that of the other dense connective tissue. It provides flexibility and elasticity to the tissue. Present in fascia of the anterior abdominal wall, wall of large artery, example aorta and its branches, trachea, vocal cord and its various ligament like the ligamentum nuchae and ligamentum flavi contain the elastic tissue. So within the HN stain you can see these wavy fibers, it indicates the elastic tissue. And these are different stain. Here you can see this three type of these fibers. Collagen fibers, it faces AgNO3 or the silver impregnated medicine, brown color. Here you can see this bundle of these collagen fibers. In single there is a elastic fibers. This also slide of this AgNO3 or silver impregnated method. Three type of these fibers you can see, collagen fibers and elastic. But reticular fibers you can see under the different stain. The black color of this reticular fibers. You see this slide is slide of this liver. This one are the central vein. This one are the hepatocyte cells, and this black structures is indicate the reticular fibers. So reticular tissue consists of delicate network of reticular fibers. Here there is a type 3 collagen in which reticular cells are embedded. So reticular fiber are attached to the fiber which may be covered by long thin reticular cell process. There is little ground substance occurring mainly hemopoietic tissue such as the bone marrow, spleen, lymph node, also found in reticular lamina of the basement membrane and around the smooth muscles fiber. Various organs are supported structurally in the form of this formation of stroma or the reticular framework by it. So these are the darkly black color stain by the reticular fibers in dense reticular fibers with the stain is AgNO or silver impregnated method. This white structures is indicate the white collagen fibers. Here you can see this brown stain of this collagen fibers in with bundle by the silver impregnated method or AgNO3 method. These are the trans collagen fibers. Name is given this white collagen fiber and not the HN stain. Now mucoid connective tissue. You see this slide of this mucoid connective tissue, also it including in classification in embryonic connective tissue So in embryonic connective tissue is example of this mucoid connective tissue. Few cells and fibers are randomly distributed in the abundant ground substance. The ground substance has a jelly-like consistency and is composed of hyaluronic acid. तो ये स्लाइड है अम्लिकल स्कॉट की और ये जो पार्ट्स दिख रहे हैं दिस वन आर द ग्राउंड सब्सटेंस और इस म्यूकोइड कनेक्टिव टिश्यू विथ less amount of this ground substance has a jelly like consistency and is composed of this hyaluronic acid. So these are the mucoid connective tissue. Here is the slide of this umbilical cord. The tissue is useful for the protecting underlying structures from the excessive pressure. Wharton jellies of umbilical cord and nucleus pulposus of the intervertebrate disc are the example of this mucoid tissue. So mucoid tissue दो टाइप की है, वार्टन जेलीस of the umbilical cords. ये जो स्लाइड रखी हमने umbilical cord की है, and this name is given this Wharton jelly. So umbilical cord contain this artery and vein.